It has finally arrived. My new cooling system for my camper van for the dogs. So this is supposed to be able to cool down a 7-metre camper van. So we have the vents on the front, we have a filter, and I should imagine they're the electric leads. Oh, it runs off 12 volts as well. So let's try this out. So you get 2 filters, one already in and one in a packet, and this is where you put the water and ice or cool block. And we have the power leads and 12 volt for the cigarette lighter. So let's get some water and a cool block and let's see how good this works. So we are going to stick the ice block in there. So you can fit in my bigger ones than that, but I've just found my small one. And then you fill, oops, not in focus. You fill it up to where the mark on the side is with water now. So we're going to transport all this to the camper van and find the thermometer, and we will see what happens. So the temperature in the kitchen was 22. We've come into the camper van and we're nearly around 24. It says open a window slightly or a roof vent. So we've opened the roof vent. So the temperature in here is rising. It's going to rise a bit more because so I can see I've had to open the blind. Would have been a lot better with the blind shut to keep the sun out, but you wouldn't be able to see what we're doing. So right now I've got to get some water and fill it up to the mark. So this is the fill mark on the side, so it won't be taking as much water as it would normally because we've got that in, so that will take up some space. If you're using it in a moving vehicle, then you have to half fill the unit, I should imagine, to stop it slopping out. But you can use it when you're driving as well. It's best to do it this way around. I can see now, so that's hardly any water in there. This machine's quite good because you can put citronella essential oils in and it'll keep the bugs away from the camper van. You know, the horrible little fly things that are always round, especially when you go anywhere near a river. The camper van's on a bit of a downhill slope, so that way. So not to make sure one side's too full, I haven't quite filled it to the full level. So there's plenty of room in there for water and the block. So you could get a bigger block in there, and I've got a bigger block, so we could try that next time. So we're all ready. Just got to put the lid back on. Might need 2 hands for this. Oh no, 2 hands to get it off because it's I suppose it's so you don't knock it off. You can't just catch it with your fingers, so you need really 2 hands to get it off. And we will switch it on, and so the temperature in here now is 26, and the air that's starting to come through there is quite cool. On a low fan like that type of coolness is quite surprising, because my little fans the other day, let me fetch my little fans to show you. So these are my little fans, and I had one in each of the front windows of the van. So one blew on my head from behind and one blew in my face, and it was a little bit cool. But when I had one of the fans up there, it was just blowing the warm air around. It was like terrible up there. Excuse all the mess on the bed, they've just fell out the cupboard when I've opened the door to get these fans out. So already, when you put your hand past these. It's really cool for it being on the lowest setting. So that's quite good. So I'm pleased with that already. So even if it doesn't overly cool the whole of the van down, I can position it onto the floor. Again, let me spin you around, and the dog stuff's on the floor. Position it on the floor with it blowing into the dog cages. As long as they've got a bit of cool air on them, it's going to do the job. Or, turn it back round, if I'm sat in these seats, turned round, and I have it positioned again on here, blowing across to me, and I can feel cool air on me instead of it just a normal fan blowing warm air around, I'll be quite happy. I think I would prefer to have, say, crack one of the car windows open, because it tells you you've got to have something open, rather than this above me, because the sun shines through it and heats the van. Because I like to keep this closed like that, but so it keeps all the sun out. But I was frightened you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. I can adjust. This is it on, it's full, and it blows. So if I stand right back, I can still feel cold air. It's a bit noisy. I'll switch it down. So there is a big difference noise-wise if you're on the full. In the house it was 22 when I picked the thermometer up. I've got it blowing onto the thermometer, and it's not been there very long, and we're down to 19. So you've definitely got cool air coming out. You have to excuse the extra noise because I've got the fan on for the dogs. So putting your hand in front of it, it's quite cool. So this is the intake fan where it takes air in, and ideally in the camper van it could do with sitting next to a window that you've got cracked open so it can pull any cool breeze in the unit, which will help. The bottom of this unit where the water sat with the ice pack in it is really cool. It's a bit colder than this when I first put the ice pack in. The ice pack's been in quite a while now because I've been messing about in the camper van as well. So to have it aimed at you to cool you down, I think it's going to be quite a good thing for the dogs and me. I doubt it will take the whole camper van down by a lot if it's really hot outside. So it's still going down. I've just switched it down, the fan down, because I've got two fans on. You're not able to hear me, but it's gone down. Still going down. So it is proving that it is throwing out quite some cool air. Then you just switch the unit off, and the temperature is going back up to what it was, about 22, just with one fan on in this kitchen when I started. Might be a little bit higher than that now because it's getting hotter outside. But I switched the fan off, and all I've done is take the filter out and turn round, and the temperature is up. Look, it's still going up. I'll be on 21 in a minute. So the temperature's still rising, look. So we'll be back up to about 22, 23 again in no time. So it does keep the area in front of it quite cool and drops the temperature. So it's got its limitations. But I think it's going to be better than just a normal little fan that I've got in the camper van at the minute. So hopefully when we do a proper field test, it will be okay.